show, and I've been joined live from Abuja studios by security consultant Dr. Kabiru Adamu. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10. First, what do you make of the latest developments in activities of terrorists in the country?
Good evening, Millicent. Like every Nigerian, I find it quite unfortunate, disturbing that these non-state actors are able to, in a brazen manner, attack critical infrastructure successfully and actually get away with it. I also find it really shocking that several persons till date appear to be missing, and as a country, we've not been able to identify these persons, and their families are currently in a state of trauma. So indeed, very disturbing.
Dr. Dama, would you say it's a case of little proactiveness by security authorities? And in this case, I mean, what do we call them? Terrorists, bandits?
That, as it were, is in the hands of the state. If you recall, last year, certain groups of bandits were declared as terrorists. Now, we have not been informed where those groups are active. Are they the ones in Kaduna or in Katsina, or in fact, all over the northwest or northern country? These were declared as terrorists, and what has happened since that legal declaration? Are they the ones that attacked this train? If they are the ones, what's their motive? That they communicated that motive? And to that extent, I mean, stopped that we are not preserving the evidence that appears to be that train. The footage that you've shown appears to show a lot of interference with the evidences that would lead to a conclusion on what happened and who was behind the attack. And of course, once we are able to arrest behind the attack, prosecute that person, we don't preserve that evidence, it will be very difficult to prosecute that.
The Minister of Transportation said that the lack of approval for funds requested by his ministry, he blamed that, saying he required certain funds to procure security surveillance gadgets. Do you think that this would have helped in hindsight if this was done?
It is one of the components of a good security system. What he was referring to is a surveillance solution. But in all honesty, that is not all what we need alone. It would serve as a component, but more importantly, the security arrangement that would help protect the sophistication of a surveillance system that is driven by the kind of technology that the minister is referring to is probably not adequate for the Nigerian environment, where challenges of power, challenges of several other things would make that kind of a solution more effective. I think in involving the communities where this train line goes through is even more important. They would have been able to notify the security agencies. So a security arrangement that involves them and that seeks their support in protecting that infrastructure, I think, will be more effective than any technological solution. That's not in any ruling out the technological solution. All I'm saying is just one component of several layers. Security is usually deployed in concentric cycles or layers. So you just can't depend on just one component of security to have the efficacy or effectiveness that you require.
We have lawmakers who appear to be decided over this, and they're talking, about, of course, speaking to the ministers of aviation and transportation later. But then we've heard from them. They said that perhaps government is distracted with politics, and they've also, at another point, said carry out sustained bombardment on the terrorist enclaves. Do you think that this is a solution?
So in reality, no. My honest opinion is that there are 27 ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And I think the parliament needs to call them in clear terms. The monies that we're giving you in your budget, what are you doing with those monies? How come we still have ungoverned spaces in Nigeria. Which department within government has responsibility for those ungoverned spaces? About the environment. About asking all of these 27 ministries if they in functions. And I think the parliament, as one major arm of government that has responsibility for both legislation and oversight, should play that role in terms of ensuring the meeting of the objectives that set out in the constitution for all these 27 ministries, departments, and agencies. I always like thinking about monitoring and evaluation, as well as having key performance indicators for all of the 27 ministries, departments, and agencies. Now, not one out of the 27 can fulfill the objective that we want for national security. It must be together by all of them. And that brings me to the next point, which is coordination. The various departments that are responsible for coordination also need to live up to that expectation. I think there are gaps, especially when it comes to cooperation and collaboration between the various 27 ministries, departments, and agencies.
The president has strongly condemned the attack, and he met with service chiefs giving directives saying that they should bring back all passengers kidnapped, ensure the perpetrators are hunted down and made to face the law. What should the service chiefs be doing at this point in time? And it's also very unfortunate that the persons kidnapped, we don't know how many, and we do not even know the state of where they are. What do you expect from the armed forces?
So, Millicent, the point I was going to make earlier on is that we should not isolate any of these 27 ministries and departments and agencies as being responsible. And I think it would be very unfair to put that burden on them. Rather, the entire 27. And I say this with all sense of responsibility. The armed forces are not in any way responsible for these ungoverned spaces. There is a department, in fact, quite amazingly, in the Ministry of Agriculture at the moment that has that responsibility, or the police. Now, this is the kind of coordination and cooperation that I am expecting to see, so that at the end of the day, their work together would give us what we want. What we want improved security. It is not just 4 of these 27, and I'm speaking of the military component now out of the 27, that would give us that. It's the entirety of them. So when you ask, I would think it's better that all the heads of the various ministries, departments, and agencies come together, perhaps under one of the several security councils that we have, security within the country. One of the best ways to do that is perhaps review funding challenges, or perhaps some other challenges. This is the time to speak about it. But more importantly, it's not a function for just one component of the security departments within the country. It is something that all of them should do together.
Security consultant Dr. Kabiru Adamo, many thanks for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you for having me.